Pakistan's National Assembly has passed the 27th Constitutional Amendment Bill. The 27th Amendment grants sweeping authority to Munir as Chief of Defence Forces. This gives him command over all military branches. He becomes the Supreme Commander and is now in charge of Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. The amendment also grants him lifelong legal immunity, placing the Army Chief on a level equal to the President and above the Prime Minister. The amendment eliminates the position of Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee. Both the Air Force and Navy are now subordinate to the Army, further consolidating the Army Chief's superiority over other services. Honorary military titles have also been converted into lifetime designations. A new federal court for constitutional cases has been established. This reduces the role of the Supreme Court. Judges will now be appointed directly by the government. However, the new court cannot ratify acts of high treason, effectively shielding state institutions and the military. The vote, held amid a ruckus in the lower house, saw 234 lawmakers in favour and only 4 against. Speaker Ayaz Sadiq announced. The session was attended by top political leaders that included Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, PMLN President Nawaz Sharif and PPP Chairperson Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Let's try and get in a perspective in terms of what will be the ramifications of such a power consolidation in the entire region. And for that, let me bring in my guest today. I'm joined in by Kabir Taneja of ORF. Thank you, Kabir, for joining me on the broadcast. Now, let's begin with what will Munir's power consolidation mean for the overall polity of Pakistan, given its own fragile internal security, whether at the hands of BLA or even a failed ceasefire with the Afghan Taliban?
Right. So look, this is Asim Munir basically going down the Ziaul Haq route in Pakistan, right? The opportunity for the army chief right now to solidify power based around an argument that there is a dire security threat to Pakistan is something that happens in Pakistan, commonly. So now, if you see the Pakistani press, they've been saying that they are ready for a two-front war with the Taliban on this side, with the Indians on the other side. The fallout of the talks between Afghanistan and the Taliban, that is, and Pakistan and Turkey was also, there were some reports, basically the Pakistani sites leaking information saying that the Taliban did not sign any kind of understanding or agreement with Pakistan because of Indian pressure and so on and so forth, which is all obviously rubbish. But this is basically Pakistan and Asim Munir solidifying power inside Pakistan for the long term. We saw the constitutional amendment to that effect. And we also sort of saw in the recent past, whenever Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister, whatever he is now, in his foreign tours, whether it was to Saudi Arabia, whether it was to the US and so on, Asim Munir was always there as a shadow behind him. So this was coming. I think this was being built up by Asim Munir, specifically after Operation Sindoor and what happened with India. And he may not be the very overt Pakistani leader and may not be sort of the face of things for the time to come. But they definitely will be pulling all the strings behind the civilian administration.
Kabir, in a post-Pahalgam and the recent 10/11 blast in New Delhi, India is being confronted by a resurgent wave of terrorism, particularly the white terror module. What will Munir's power shift now mean for India's own security landscape?
From an Indian point of view, I think they should have expected something like this to happen, specifically in Kashmir. Maybe they did not expect Delhi to be targeted again, but Pakistan has very few cards in its deck. It cannot go for a conventional war. It doesn't have the economy for it. It may have military sort of strength to do a short-term exchange like it did around Sindoor, but for a long-term exchange with a country like India, it doesn't have the economics for it. So the only thing that it can go back to is lighting up Kashmir once again, as it has done repeatedly over the decades, and target Indian cities once again. Whether it's, similar to what happened in Mumbai in 26/11. The fact that Delhi was hit this time is a big thing. It's not a small thing. And the initial reports were, of course, saying that it was being planned for 2 years and so on and so forth. So I think if there is a direct Pakistan connect, then India will have to weigh its options on what is the best foot forward for this. But I think a lot has to be looked upon inside as well. Because most of the police raids done in association with this terror attack, even if it has a Jaish angle to it, as it seems so, a lot of it was festered inside India and in Kashmir. So I think is a certain change of strategy will also be required, along with putting more and more pressure on Pakistan.
All right, Kabir, we'll have to leave it at that. Many thanks to you for joining in on World 360.